Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming and spending the time with me. My name is Zhuling, so it's my honor to be here. Last night I spoke at TOKEN2049. It was back in 2018, and I'm seeing a very different crowd here. So I'm sure a lot of people here are, maybe just trying to get into this space or trying to see what's going on here. I'm gonna talk less about the technology itself today, but more talk about my personal experience for the past 5 years and how we see the transitioning in this space. And hopefully this helps people to also find their own spot and own opportunity to get into Web 3.0. Okay, very quick introduction of myself. So I'm an engineer by training, but I started my career as a management consultant. Got into this space in 2017, so this is already my second venture. So I love building stuff. We first got into the public blockchain space because we think that's what's needed for developers. Proof of stake plus smart contract. This is what makes the whole blockchain and also the new internet more interesting. We are proudly to be a company founded and also operating from Singapore. So we have most of our guys here. So we're looking at the Asian markets and trying to work with different partners. So along the way, because we position ourselves as an infrastructure provider, that's why we talk to a lot of DApps, a lot of developers, and also a lot of institutions. So along the way, that's where we start to share more ideas on what are the things that they need to take note of in order to get into this space and try to avoid some common mistakes. Yeah, so I think everyone's talking about Web3, and it's a very new term, and everyone probably has a very different idea of what exactly that is. To me, personally, blockchain is only just part of Web3. It probably works as more like the settlement layer, maybe a slightly more, that safeguards all the valuable assets and information on the internet. While the internet itself still generates and replicates information and does a lot of things more from an efficiency perspective. However, blockchain itself is more similar to how the internet started many, many years ago. It was more trying to test out new ways for people to coordinate with each other and at a global scale. That's why we're looking at Web3 more from a creator-focused, user-led kind of business model. And in the future, we're also looking at maybe data will be more private to yourself, and this will challenge how the current Web2 companies are doing, because they are benefiting mostly from the data generated by each of us. Yeah. Okay, so why we're talking about this, right? This is because we are really trying to help all the developers and the Web2 companies to get into the new technology and the new business itself. And we don't want them to feel the technological difficulties or challenges. That's why we have identified the 3 challenges for them. So first of all, probably most of you know, blockchain and internet are not connected. Blockchain actually operates in isolated condition, right? That's why if you really want to understand what's going on blockchain or to interact with the blockchain, you need an access point with the internet. And secondly, everyone knows, okay, so then how do I manage my private key? It's just one stream of codes, and if I lost it, this is a big issue. So these are the 2 points we are offering to the developers so that they do not have to worry about security, and also they can scale up their business on blockchain in a very cost-efficient way. And the last part is that with more DApps coming onto blockchain, we need the blockchain itself to be super secure. So that's where we need validators. We need them to process all the transactions. We need them to also make sure things are done in a fair and decentralized way. So that's another service we have been offering since 2019. Yep. So our end goal here is really trying to be the gateway for all the traditional companies to get into Web3 so that you don't worry about your access point into the space. You know how to manage your keys more of a approval-based manner. And also the blockchain itself you're working on is secure. Yeah, so so because we're offering all those services, that's why a lot of companies came to us. So they asked, hey, we're trying to maybe pivot our existing company into Web3, or I'm trying to build a new business, but I don't know where to start. Yeah, what exactly are the things that I should look for? And also, for the past few months, I've been talking to Claire from Straits Times. So we're also talking about how to nurture the ecosystem in Singapore. And along the way, that's how I collected some of my thoughts. And I would like to share with you guys. Okay, so very simple 3 points. If you are starting a business, whether it's to transitioning your existing one or build a new one into this space, first of all, start small. And secondly, make sure you're actually solving a problem that everybody agrees. And lastly, don't just wait. Start doing, and you will learn along the way. So let's first look at start small. Yeah, blockchain, although it has been super exciting, but from a technology perspective, we have to acknowledge there are so many gaps, especially on the tools and infrastructure perspective. Let's take an example. Just now, one of the speakers was talking about layer 2, but actually we all know that although layer 2 makes transactions cheaper and faster, but there are still no good solutions to have a cheaper data storage on layer 2. So things still has to go back to layer 1. So this has a lot of implications, right? So can I really build something that is big enough and everything is on-chain? And also, we also have to acknowledge that smart contract itself has a lot of limitations in terms of security. So we need to be careful about what we're building, because these are the things that are going to manage a lot of transactions. So the best way to not prevent yourself of doing something meaningful is actually think very clearly, let's just build a minimum viable product that actually proves the point. And you can have a roadmap that tells people and also remind yourself what are the other components you would like to build up in the future. This is also the most cost-effective matter for any company who wants to start. Yeah, because very quickly you will know whether something works or something does not. And this also helps you to be super focused on the certain things that you're trying to make innovation about. So this is also less pressure for yourself. And second part, we really believe that having a proper problem statement is really important. Why? Because sometimes, if you really talk it out, things may not really make sense. So let me make an example. A lot of people are building GameFi. And we would like to really understand, okay, so for GameFi, are you really trying to make blockchain to make the game more fun? Or are you using the blockchain itself to make the game more fair? Or is this something more about linking all the developers or users? So the question here is really, what is the problem you're trying to solve? Yeah. And once you have identified the problem statement, and we need to also talk about how is blockchain playing a role about it. Blockchain is not going to be a solution for everything. For a business or in order to solve problems, there are problems that requires more efficiency. Sometimes it makes sense more in a centralized manner. Back in 2018, people were talking about decentralized Uber or decentralized Airbnb, but we haven't really seen what exactly that problem is, and we haven't seen a good solution out of that yet. Another example is that we're using a multi-party computation for key management. This is because we believe this makes everything more secure. And we started it because we are running so many validators. And we want to make sure all the validators are not down if one or two servers are down. And this happens if all the private keys are stored over there. So that is the problem statement that we found for our own business. Yeah. And the last part, we have been growing. Also, we're talking to a lot of people that are trying to get into this space. And a common question that we got asked is, hey, actually there is a blockchain course that is offered by Stanford or somewhere else. Should I take half a year off and just attend that one? Or should I start something immediately? Okay, my simple answer here is that there's no textbook for this industry. Yeah, things are moving really fast. Like what we understood 2 years ago or how we see things are totally different after 2 years. So this is an industry that actually you learn the fastest if you build a very small product at the very beginning. Also talk to people that are in this space and learn from the mistakes that you have made. For the past 5 years, there are so many lessons we have learned. Also along the cycles of different winters and the bull runs, there are things that we have to learn. And all those things, you only get it if you're in this space. Yep. So this is how we're trying to practice the philosophies in our company. We're building a lot of small products that we found are meaningful. So for example, we're building Lido on Avalanche for liquid staking, and we're the first one that introduced MPC into the products so that it's more secure. And there are also other products we're working with institutions so that we can tap into the new customer base. Yeah, just now we talked about winter, right? But honestly, if you compare what was the situation back in 2018 compared to now, we're seeing so many people here. Institutions have got in. Very strong developers, very mature teams have got into this space. Everyone is taking a much longer view building stuff. So yes, token price has reflected a lot of bearishness. However, if you look at the developers' activities, this is super bullish. And we also believe that in a bear market, this is where companies can focus on their product and actually start to acquire their seed customers. You will be surprised if you look at all the champions in 2020, they actually all started in 2017 and 18. Yeah, so that's how things get started. And yeah, to conclude my sharing here, yep, this is an industry that definitely going to stay. There are so many interesting people that we can hang out with. So let's keep our long-term view, stick to your vision. Let's make something meaningful to happen. And yeah, again, I didn't talk about the tech side at all. But if you guys are interested to figure out what we're doing, what are the exciting things we're in our head, our booth is just right in the corner behind the stage. Great. Okay. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great day.